Now you study Basel III compliance of the PSBS and RRBS. The capital up to risk weighted assets ratio of the scheduled commercial banks of India was 13.02% of the by March 2014 Basel III, falling to 12.75% by September 2014. The regulatory requirement for CAR is 9% for 2015. The decline in capital positions at aggregate level, however, was an account of deterioration in capital positions PSB, while the CRAR of the scheduled commercial banks 12.75% on the as of September 2014 was satisfactory. Going forward, this banking sector, particularly PSB, will require substantial capital to meet regulatory requirements with respect to additional capital buffers. In order to make the PSB and RRB compliant to the Basel III norms, the government has to follow a recapitalization program for them since 2011. A high-level committee on the issue was also set up by the government, which has suggested the idea of non-operating holders company under a special act of parliament. Says parliament action is yet to come regarding this. Meanwhile, the government has refused three tranches of capital into banks, refused the funds to go to the RRB through the PSB, under whom they fall into up to March 2015, which is 12,000 crore infused during the 2012 to 13 in 7 PSB, which is 12,517 crore infused 2013-14, 8 PSB in 8 years to 14 to 15. The PSB recapitalized with 6,990 crore. With this capital infuse was based on some new criteria: the asset quality, efficiency, and strength of the banks. During 2015-16, the government released as 19,950 crore to 13 PSBs. Economic surplus 15-16 for the year 2016-17. The government has announced a sum of which is 25,000 crore for the purpose of recapitalizing the PSB Union by 2015-16-17. Given the deterioration in asset quality, and gradual implementation of Basel III norms, PSB will have to improve their capital positions to meet unforeseen losses in future. The estimated capital requirement, excluding internally generated profit for the next 4 years up to 2018 and to 19, is likely to be about 1,80,000 crore. Of this total requirement, the government of India proposes to make this 7,000 crore available out of the budgetary allocations during 2016-17 and 17-18 stock of money. Okay, so in every economy, it is necessary for the central bank to know the stock amount level of money available in the economy. Only then it can go for suitable kind of credit and monetary policies. Saying simply credit and monetary policy of an economy is all about changing the level of money flowing in the economic system, but it can be done only when we know the real flow of money. That's why it is necessary to first assess the level of money flowing in the economy, following the recommendation of the second working group of money supply. Okay, so in 1977, RBI has been publishing 4 monetary aggregates, component of money, that is M1, M2, M3, M4, are basically short terms for money 1, money 2, money 3, money 4. Besides the reserve money, these components use certain money of differing latitude liquidities. M1 currency and coins, or vehicle demand deposits of banks, current and saving accounts, plus other deposits of the RBI. M2, M1 plus demand deposits of the post office, that is saving scheme money. M3, M1 plus time by term deposits of the bank, that is the money lying in the recurring deposits and fixed deposits. M4, M3 plus total deposits of the post office, both demand and time deposits. Now the RBI has started publishing a set of new monetary aggregates following the recommendation of the working group on money supply, analytics and methodology of compilations. Chairman Dr. Y.B. Reddy, which submitted its report in June 1998, the working group recommended compilation of 4 monetary aggregates on the basis of the balance state of the banking sector in conformity with the norms of progressive liquidity. M0 monetary base, M1 narrow base money, M2 and M3 broad money. In addition to the monetary aggregates, the working group had recommended compilation of 3 liquidity aggregates, namely L1, L2 and L3, which include select item of financial liabilities of non-depository financial operations, such as development financial institutions and non-banking financial companies, accepting deposits from the public apart from post office servings. The new monetary aggregators are as given below. Reserve money, M0, currency in circulation plus bankers deposit with the RBI plus other deposits with the RBI. Narrow money, M1, currency with the public plus demand deposits with the bank system plus other deposits with the RBI. M2 equals to M1 plus saving deposits of the post office saving banks. Third money, M3, M1 plus the time deposits with the banking system. M4, M3 plus all deposits with post office saving banks, excluding national saving certification. M3 plus all deposits, here you can see M3, M1 plus time deposits with the bank, M2, M1 plus saving deposits with the post office and banking system, here you can see. So M3 plus M4, M3 plus all deposits of the post office saving banks, excluding national saving certificates. While the working group did not recommended any change in the definition of reserve money and M1, it proposed a new intermediate monetary aggregate to be referred to as NM, comprising currency and resident short-term bank deposits with contractual maturity up to and including 1 year, which would be a stand in between narrow money, which includes only the non-interest bearing monetary liabilities of the banking sector, and broad money all encompassing measure that includes long-term non-time deposits. The new broad money aggregate referred to as NM for the purpose of clarity in the monetary survey would comprise in addition to the NM long-term deposits of residents as well as term borrowings from the non-bank sources, which have emerged as an important source of resource mobilization for banks. The critical difference between M3 and NM3 is the treatment of non-residents repatriable fixed foreign currency liabilities of the banking system in the money supply compilations. There are 2 basic changes in the new monetary aggregates. First, since the post office banks is not a part of the banking sector, the post office bank it is not a part of the banking sector. Postal deposits are no longer treated. Postal deposits are no longer treated as part of money supply, as was the case in the extent M2 and M4. Second, the residency criteria was residency criteria was adopted to the limited extent for compilation money aggregators. The working group made a recommendation in favor of compilation of monetary aggregates on the residency basis. Okay, so residency essentially relates to the current country in which the holder has a center of economic interest, holding of currency and deposits by the non-residents in the rest of the world. Rest of the world sector would be determined by their portfolio. So, however, these transactions form part of the balance of payments. Okay, so such holdings of currency and deposits are not strictly related to the domestic demand for internal monetary asset. It is therefore argued that these transactions should be regarded as external liabilities to be netted from foreign currency assets or the banking system. However, in the context of developing countries such as India, which have a large number of expatriate working who remit their savings in the form of deposits, it could be argued that these non-residents have a center of economic interest in their country of origin. Although in a macroeconomic economic accounting framework, all non-resident deposits need to be separated from domestic deposits. Although in a macroeconomic accounting framework, all non-resident deposits need to be separated from domestic deposits and treated as capital flows, and the underlying economic reality may point otherwise. In the Indian context, it may not be appropriate to exclude all categories of non-resident deposits from domestic monetary aggregates, as non-resident domestic rupee deposits are essentially integrated into bank domestic financial system. The new monetary aggregates therefore exclude only non-resident repatriable foreign currency fixed deposits from deposit liabilities and treat those as external liabilities having from among the various categories of non-resident deposits at present. Only foreign currency non-resident accounts, okay, banks, foreign currency non-resident accounts (FCNR) deposits deposits are classified as external liability and excluded from the domestic stock, since the bulk of the FCNR deposits are held abroad by commercial banks, and monetary impact of changes in such deposits is captured through changes in net foreign exchange assets of the commercial bank. Thus, now the new monetary aggregates NM2 and NM3, as well as liquidity aggregates L1, L2, and L3 have been introduced. The components of which they are elaborated as follows: NM1 also currency with the public, plus demand deposits with the banking system, plus other deposits with the RBI. NM2, NM1 plus short-term time deposits of residents, including the contractual monetary maturity of 1 year. NM3, NM2 plus long-term time deposits of residents, plus call term funding from financial institution. L1 in NM3 plus all deposits with the post office savings banks. Okay. L1 NM2 plus all deposits with the post office savings bank, excluding national savings certificates. L2 equals to L1 plus term deposits with term lending institution and refinancing institution. So L2 equals to L1 plus term deposits with term lending institution and financing institution. F plus term borrowing by FI. Surplus certificates of deposit issued by FI. L3 equals to L2 plus public deposits of non-banking financial companies. So here you can see L3 equals to L2 plus public deposits of non-banking financial companies. So data on M0 are published by the RBI on weekly basis, while those for M1 and N3 are available on fortnightly basis, and liquidity aggregates data on L1 and L2 are published monthly, while those on L3 are disseminated quarterly. The working group had advised for the quarterly publication of financial sectors survey, the capture of dynamic linkage between the banks and the rest of the organized financial sector. Liquidity of money. Next we discuss. No, okay. The liquidity of money. Next we discuss. Okay, so thank you.